Have you ever stared at the Forbes list, wondering what secret ingredient separates the world's billionaires from the rest of us? Is it sheer luck, inherited wealth, or something far more profound embedded in their psyche? Today, we embark on a thrilling psychological expedition into the minds of those who've amassed unimaginable fortunes. We're not just talking about money, we're delving into the unique thought processes, emotional frameworks, and behavioral patterns that forge titans of industry and innovation. Prepare to challenge your preconceived notions and uncover the hidden psychological architecture behind their extraordinary success. What if their magic isn't so magical after all, but a set of learnable, albeit intense, psychological strategies? Let's peel back the layers and discover the blueprints of their unparalleled achievements.
Where does such relentless ambition originate? For many billionaires, the spark ignites early, often from a potent mix of childhood experiences, a perceived lack, or an insatiable curiosity about how the world works. It's rarely a gentle flicker. More often, it's a roaring inferno, driving them to outperform, outthink, and outmaneuver. This isn't just about wanting to be rich. It's about a deep-seated desire to create, to dominate, to leave an indelible mark. What psychological triggers in their formative years transformed mere aspirations into an unshakable resolve to conquer seemingly impossible challenges? Could it be a response to adversity, a longing for control, or an inherent disposition towards grand visions? The roots of their ambition run deeper than mere material gain. As they ascend to the apex of wealth and power, many billionaires describe a profound sense of isolation. The higher you climb, the fewer people truly understand your challenges, your responsibilities, and the immense pressures you face. Trust becomes a precious commodity, as motives are constantly scrutinized and relationships often transactional. What psychological toll does this take? How do they cope with the intense scrutiny and the constant awareness that every decision carries immense weight? The gilded cage, as it's sometimes called, offers unparalleled luxury, but can also be a solitary confinement for the mind, where true confidants are rare and the burden of leadership is shouldered largely alone, despite their outward appearances of invincibility. The pursuit of massive wealth often brings billionaires to ethical crossroads. When billions are at stake, when markets are cutthroat, and when regulations are gray areas, where do personal morals stand? Some are lauded for their philanthropy. Others are condemned for their ruthless tactics. What internal psychological mechanisms dictate these choices? Is there a detachment that allows them to prioritize profit over people? Or do they genuinely believe their ends justify their means? This isn't to demonize all billionaires, but to acknowledge the intense pressures that can warp moral compasses. The line between shrewd business and ethical transgression can be perilously thin, and navigating it is a constant psychological battle with immense real-world consequences. For many, money feels scarce, a finite resource to be hoarded. Billionaires, however, often operate from an abundance mindset. They see opportunities everywhere, believing that wealth can be created, not just redistributed. This isn't blind optimism. It's a fundamental belief in the limitless potential of innovation and value creation. What psychological shift allows them to transcend the fear of not enough and embrace the possibility of more than enough? Is it a deep understanding of economic principles, a creative problem-solving approach, or an inherent confidence in their ability to generate resources? This mental framework fundamentally alters how they approach investments, partnerships, and even challenges, seeing them as growth points rather than limitations. No one achieves billionaire status in a vacuum. Behind almost every titan is a story of influential mentors, advisors, or even rivals who shaped their thinking, opened doors, or offered critical guidance at pivotal moments. They actively seek out and learn from those who have already scaled mountains. What psychological trait allows them to both be fiercely independent yet humble enough to seek counsel? Is it a strategic understanding of leverage, a recognition of their own blind spots, or a deep-seated desire for accelerated learning? These relationships are not just about networking, they are crucial psychological anchors, providing perspective, challenging assumptions, and accelerating their trajectory towards unprecedented success. Every billionaire's journey is punctuated by critical junctures, moments of immense pressure, difficult decisions, or unforeseen opportunities that irrevocably altered their trajectory. These aren't just lucky breaks. They are moments where their psychological fortitude, vision, and risk tolerance were tested and triumphed. What psychological states enable them to make such high-stakes decisions with clarity and conviction when the consequences could be catastrophic? Is it an acute sense of timing, an unwavering belief in their own judgment, or a comfort with ambiguity that allows them to commit fully where others would falter? These pivotal moments aren't random. They are the crucible where billion-dollar empires are forged, requiring unique mental resilience. For many, their identity becomes inextricably linked to their wealth and achievements. But what happens when that wealth is threatened, or when they step away from the empire they built? Does their sense of self remain intact, or is there a psychological crisis? This question delves into the deeper meaning of purpose and validation for billionaires. Is their self-worth derived solely from their financial success, or do they possess an intrinsic sense of identity that transcends their net worth? Understanding this connection reveals much about their psychological makeup, exploring whether the fortune defines the person, or if the person defines the fortune, shaping their post-billionaire life in profound ways. Surrounded by immense wealth, the challenge of discerning true loyalty from opportunistic flattery becomes a constant psychological burden. Billionaires must build and navigate an inner circle of advisors, employees, and family where the stakes are incredibly high. How do they cultivate trust and identify genuine allies amidst a sea of potential sycophants? What psychological defense mechanisms do they employ to protect themselves from betrayal while still remaining open to vital input? The constant vigilance required to safeguard their empire and their personal well-being can be exhausting, leading to a sophisticated understanding of human nature, where trust is earned in increments and betrayal can be catastrophic, forever altering their worldview and future decisions. Once financial security is no longer a concern, many billionaires shift their focus to legacy. This can manifest as philanthropy, political influence, scientific research, or cultural impact. The drive, however, remains, transforming from wealth accumulation to world shaping. What psychological need does this fulfill? Is it a desire for immortality, a sense of responsibility to give back, or a final grand expression of their ambition? This transition reveals a deeper psychological quest for meaning beyond the material, a yearning to be remembered not just for what they accumulated, but for the lasting impact they made. Their ultimate motivation often evolves, seeking a significance that transcends mere numbers. With immense wealth comes immense responsibility, and equally immense public scrutiny. Billionaires often find themselves in positions where their decisions can impact entire economies, countless livelihoods, and even global politics. This weight can be psychologically crushing. How do they manage the constant pressure of public opinion, activist campaigns, and the expectations of millions? Is it a hardened stoicism, a carefully constructed public persona, or a genuine conviction in their own moral compass? The burden of knowing that every move is analyzed, criticized, and often politicized can be a heavy cross to bear, requiring extraordinary mental fortitude to navigate the relentless glare of the global stage. With immense wealth comes immense responsibility, and equally immense public scrutiny.
Billionaires often find themselves in positions where their decisions can impact entire economies, countless livelihoods, and even global politics. This weight can be psychologically crushing. How do they manage the constant pressure of public opinion, activist campaigns, and the expectations of millions? Is it a hardened stoicism, a carefully constructed public persona, or a genuine conviction in their own moral compass? The burden of knowing that every move is analyzed, criticized, and often politicized can be a heavy cross to bear, requiring extraordinary mental fortitude to navigate the relentless glare of the global stage.
While others see obstacles, billionaires often possess an uncanny ability to visualize opportunities and a future state that seems outlandish to the average person. This isn't just optimism, it's a profound capacity for strategic foresight, often coupled with an almost spiritual belief in their own ideas. They paint vivid mental pictures of their empires long before a single brick is laid. How do they maintain such unwavering conviction in the face of widespread skepticism, even ridicule? Is it a form of selective perception, filtering out doubt and amplifying possibility? Or a unique neural pathway that processes risk and reward differently? Their vision acts as both a compass and a magnet, pulling resources and people towards their ultimate destination, transforming dreams into tangible realities. The relentless pursuit of wealth and power often comes at a significant personal cost to health and well-being. Sleep deprivation, chronic stress, poor diet, and strained personal relationships are common narratives. What psychological strategies do some billionaires employ to manage these detrimental effects, or do they simply dismiss them as necessary sacrifices? Is there a point where the drive for success eclipses the basic human need for rest and balance? While some become champions of wellness, others notoriously neglect their physical and mental health, highlighting the internal struggle between ambition and self-preservation. This aspect reveals the profound human cost beneath the glittering facade of their immense achievements. The relentless pursuit of wealth and power often comes at a significant personal cost to health and well-being. Sleep deprivation, chronic stress, poor diet, and strained personal relationships are common narratives. What psychological strategies do some billionaires employ to manage these detrimental effects, or do they simply dismiss them as necessary sacrifices? Is there a point where the drive for success eclipses the basic human need for rest and balance? While some become champions of wellness, others notoriously neglect their physical and mental health, highlighting the internal struggle between ambition and self-preservation. This aspect reveals the profound human cost beneath the glittering facade of their immense achievements. The relentless pursuit of wealth and power often comes at a significant personal cost to health and well-being. Sleep deprivation, chronic stress, poor diet, and strained personal relationships are common narratives. What psychological strategies do some billionaires employ to manage these detrimental effects, or do they simply dismiss them as necessary sacrifices? Is there a point where the drive for success eclipses the basic human need for rest and balance? While some become champions of wellness, others notoriously neglect their physical and mental health, highlighting the internal struggle between ambition and self-preservation. This aspect reveals the profound human cost beneath the glittering facade of their immense achievements. The relentless pursuit of wealth and power often comes at a significant personal cost to health and well-being. Sleep deprivation, chronic stress, poor diet, and strained personal relationships are common narratives. What psychological strategies do some billionaires employ to manage these detrimental effects, or do they simply dismiss them as necessary sacrifices? Is there a point where the drive for success eclipses the basic human need for rest and balance?
While some become champions of wellness, others notoriously neglect their physical and mental health, highlighting the internal struggle between ambition and self-preservation. This aspect reveals the profound human cost beneath the glittering facade of their immense achievements. The relentless pursuit of wealth and power often comes at a significant personal cost to health and well-being. Sleep deprivation, chronic stress, poor diet, and strained personal relationships are common narratives. What psychological strategies do some billionaires employ to manage these detrimental effects, or do they simply dismiss them as necessary sacrifices? Is there a point where the drive for success eclipses the basic human need for rest and balance? While some become champions of wellness, others notoriously neglect their physical and mental health, highlighting the internal struggle between ambition and self-preservation. This aspect reveals the profound human cost beneath the glittering facade of their immense achievements.
Most people shy away from risk, preferring the safety of the known. Billionaires, however, seem to operate with a different algorithm. They aren't reckless gamblers. They are calculated strategists, willing to bet big when the odds, however slim, present a significant payout. What psychological mechanisms allow them to overcome the innate human fear of loss and uncertainty? Is it a higher tolerance for ambiguity, a deeper understanding of probability, or an almost pathological belief in their own ability to mitigate disaster? They see risk not as a deterrent, but as an essential ingredient for innovation and exponential growth. This willingness to step into the unknown is a defining characteristic, often separating the contenders from the true conquerors of wealth.
The path to $1 billion is rarely a straight line. It's a tumultuous roller coaster of exhilarating highs and crushing lows. What truly distinguishes billionaires is their extraordinary resilience and almost superhuman ability to absorb devastating blows, learn from them, and rebound stronger than before. Failure isn't a dead end. It's a crucial data point, a painful but invaluable lesson. How do they metabolize defeat without succumbing to despair or quitting altogether? Is it an inherent psychological toughness, a refusal to be defined by setbacks, or a strategic reframing of adversity as a necessary step towards ultimate victory? Their stories are replete with tales of near bankruptcy and public humiliation, yet they always find a way back, proving that their mental fortitude is as formidable as their financial prowess.
Forget 9 to 5. Many billionaires describe their work ethic as an all-consuming obsession. They don't just work hard, they immerse themselves in problems, often for years, with a singular, laser-like focus that borders on monomania. This isn't necessarily healthy in every aspect of life, but it's undeniably effective for accumulating wealth. What drives this extreme dedication? Is it a neurological predisposition for hyperfocus, a byproduct of their unyielding ambition, or a learned discipline honed over decades? They often sacrifice leisure, relationships, and even sleep, viewing distractions as the enemy of progress. This intense, almost meditative engagement with their goals allows them to uncover insights and execute strategies that elude those with a more balanced approach.
In a world obsessed with instant gratification, billionaires stand out as the ultimate practitioners of delayed gratification. They're willing to forego immediate comforts, profits, and pleasures for the sake of a much larger future reward. They invest heavily in research and development, build infrastructure that won't pay off for decades, and resist the temptation of quick cash-outs. What psychological strength allows them to consistently choose long-term gain over short-term pleasure? Is it superior impulse control, a clearer understanding of exponential growth, or an inherent patience that few possess? Their ability to defer present enjoyment for future empire building is a cornerstone of their wealth accumulation, demonstrating a profound mastery over their own desires.
While cognitive biases often trip up the average person, some billionaires seem to instinctively recognize and even leverage them. They understand how confirmation bias can solidify their vision, how anchoring can shape negotiations, or how the availability heuristic can influence public perception. Are they consciously manipulating these mental shortcuts, or do they simply possess an intuitive understanding of human psychology that allows them to make seemingly irrational decisions that turn out to be brilliant? This isn't about being immune to biases, but about a sophisticated awareness that allows them to either mitigate their own or strategically exploit those of others. It's a subtle but powerful advantage in the high-stakes game of wealth creation.
Fixed mindsets see intelligence and ability as static. Growth mindsets believe they can be developed through dedication and hard work. Billionaires overwhelmingly embody the latter. They are perpetual students, voraciously consuming knowledge, constantly seeking feedback, and viewing every challenge as an opportunity for growth. They never believe they've arrived. What fuels this insatiable appetite for learning and self-improvement? Is it a deep-seated intellectual curiosity, a fear of obsolescence, or a recognition that the world is constantly changing and adaptation is paramount? This commitment to personal and professional evolution ensures they remain agile, innovative, and relevant in ever-shifting markets, transforming potential threats into stepping stones for further success.
Billionaires aren't just brilliant thinkers, they are master communicators and persuaders. They can articulate their grand visions with such clarity and conviction that they inspire investors, motivate employees, and captivate customers. They don't just sell products, they sell dreams, solutions, and revolutions. What psychological techniques do they employ to win hearts and minds? Is it charisma, a deep understanding of human desires, or an innate ability to craft compelling narratives that resonate on a primal level? Their persuasive power is a critical asset, enabling them to rally resources, build formidable teams, and ultimately steer the course of entire industries with their compelling storytelling and unwavering belief in their mission.